and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition on Split Decision. With me today, I have the one and only Bill Trill Haney. How you doing,
sir.
Bill? Pleasure having you as always.
Hey, absolutely, man. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody, you know what I mean, in the chat. You know what I mean? I hope everybody is staying safe out there.
Pleasure having you, Bill. Wa alaikum assalam. Now, recently, Lomachenko, he came out and said that, Devin Haney, stop lying. We have not received any offers. Send the real contract. What's your take on Vasyl Lomachenko comments?
Well, I mean, like usual, you know what I mean? The rubber will meet the road, you know. Devin Haney has not did any lying. I reached out to the great Igis Klimas, manager for Vasyl Lomachenko. What I did was I did exactly what. Hold on, let me get to it, man. You know what I mean? Because it's time to cook, and the grease is already hot. So,
yes, sir.
This is here. It goes right here. This is the DMs between Devin that started here. That started in January, right? And then all the way till August, right? This Devin is asking for the fight, okay? Now you talk about October the 3rd. He then responds and he says to contact my manager, right? So Devin then says Lomachenko would be a pay-per-view fight. And then he says, I'll keep that in mind, okay? So that's what happened, right? We did our due diligence, my good brother, and I reached out to his manager, the great Igis Klimas.
We see that. So that's Lomachenko manager.
Right? So I didn't get a response. Then I did get a response. And then I sent another text to him. Why don't you read it, good brother? Because I'm having a problem reading it. So here is where it's Igis. And then you see the second text message.
Yes, sir. He said, good morning, Igis. Give Bill Haney a call when time permitted. Look like something special just happened between our two great fighters. That's the next day.
No response, and then the next day.
Yes, sir. It's kind of hard to see, but I think it says, good morning, Igis. I hope all is well. Just as I have always discussed it with you before, Loma versus Haney is something special. I hear Loma is now ready to fight with Devin in early May. Please respond when time permit. We have an offer per Matchroom DAZN.
Okay, so then when I talked to his manager, what he said to talk to his manager, then the manager says that we need to talk to Bob Arum about making the fight happen because they don't think that they're going to be able to make the fight happen because of Bob Arum and all this other rhetoric, right? So then we reached out to Bob Arum, and of course we hear what Bob Arum says, the infamous, that he's willing to make the fight and it's a great fight, but the fight will then, wants to entertain the fight on with Devin after Devin is off of the zone, which is strange. Is strangely it's strange to us because Lomachenko and Campbell was made, and Campbell didn't have to leave Eddie Hearn. Maurice Hooker and Ramirez was made, and Maurice Hooker didn't have to leave. Then you have you also have the Joshua and Tyson Fury going back and forth, and there's nothing where Anthony Joshua has to leave, right? I can go on and on. You have Anthony Corolla, who also fought against Lomachenko, and he didn't have to leave. So when you talk about all these things, they're just it's rhetoric, right? Devin has been there, right? Devin has been there. He's been on the chopping block, and if Lomachenko, just like he said, wanted to fight Devin, he should have fought him, right, when Devin was his mandatory, right? And if he thought that he could beat him, and Top Rank thought that he could beat him, then we wouldn't be talking about nothing right here. There would be no WBC champion in Devin Haney, right? He would have did it. He had one full year from the time that he fought Luke Campbell and before he fought Teofimo Lopez, right? So we don't take anything away from him being a good fighter, a great fighter, or anything like that. Like I always say, that there's something special about Devin that makes us put Devin in a position, whether it's in a position that he's the champion or he's the mandatory. We put our head on the chopping block. What you see in Lomachenko is Lomachenko responded after he reached out to Linares' camp and found out that Linares then had signed a contract, right? That was sometime later, maybe a week or something later, after no response from him, after Bob Arum going on a program and saying that he is interested in Devin, but he's interested in Devin fighting on his network, right? And he's interested in being in the Devin Haney business. So with him saying that, right, with Eddie reaching out and not getting any response, right? Anytime that you have Bob Arum, who's wanted to make a fight happen, he came out and said it, whether it was with the Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, right? Or whether it's with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Nothing has ever stopped him with the person being on a side of the street, right? But we know that Bob Arum wants to be in the Devin Haney business. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? We can have an appreciation for that. But when you talk about Lomachenko and Lomachenko answering a call and saying then that he'll be ready and he's available, how are you ready and you're available if you haven't even talked to your promoter? If your promoter that you say that it takes to make it happen, right? How can you be ready and you haven't talked to him? How can you be ready and you saying it's up to the promoters, right? You said it's up to the promoters, not it's up to our promoter, right? You said it's up to the promoters. So that means that, you know what I mean? It's all cap.
Yes, sir. Now, to put things in perspective, when you hit up Lomachenko manager, after you said we have an offer for you on the table, did he say, "Send me the offer. Can I see it"? What did he?
No.
Or he told you to?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. Right? He said, talk to Bob Arum because I don't think that it's going to be able to happen because we need to look at our contract and see if we can even do it based on they think that they might have an exclusive to ESPN, right? That it might be some language in there that makes them exclusive where they can't fight, where they need a permission from Bob Arum. So what I find that strange is that when Devin was talking, right, he said that he was available. He said it as if he made the decision. But come to find out, you don't even make the decision. It's not even up to you. So when you talk about send over the offer, right, the offer is not coming from you, nor the decision is being made from you. So to call somebody a liar, right, once again, you said coward and you said liar, right, which I think that he's both of them. He's saying that, but I think that he's both of them because you say send over an offer after you said that you saw the Linares had signed, right? And you waited not 1 day, not 2 days, not 3 days. You waited a week or so to come back out after that, after I even talked to him. And when you talk about Igis Klimas, who you said the manager that you were talking about, it was silent. There you go.
Yeah, we see that. Now he gets told, and he gets told you to contact Bob, right? Yeah, and he gets told you to contact Bob. in which
Yes.
so you contacted Bob or Eddie contacted Bob? Contact my manager. Yes, sir. So which one is it? Is it the
Well,
manager or
that's
is
what
it?
we do. So that's what we
Yeah,
do. You know, it's a spin around. It's like spinning around. Okay, go ahead and contact your manager, right? We contact the manager, right? The manager says that he couldn't do anything. Contact Bob, right? So why would you say contact the manager, right? See, we knew it was gonna be bullshit. We
yeah.
knew it
So
was
now
gonna be
you
bullshit.
right. So you guys contacted Bob after that. Was it you, Bill, or was it Eddie Hearn that contacted Bob?
Both, both.
And Bob responded by stating that he's not interested in the fight right now.
Know that he's interested in making the fight after Devin leaves Eddie, which is a slap in the face, bro. Which is saying that you're not interested in the fight and you don't want to make the fight happen now, right? Okay, you say that you can want to fight, you want to make it fight, you want to make the fight happen next, or you're interested in talking to us. You know what I mean? I'm not from a business standpoint, I'm not going to say that that's bad, right? That's a whole lot farther than what Bob had been saying, right? About Devin. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say that it's Bob. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it's the WBC. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say these fighters need to get their promoter, right, to agree to it, to go out and advocate and promote for it. Now you've heard Eddie Hearn come out and said that's a fight that he was looking for, he was looking to make, right? You've also heard Egis Kleeman say that we both contacted him. And what is the manager going to do then? If you said that you wanted that your manager is the guy, and every other time that it goes this way, why is things changing? Why is things changing? Why your manager wouldn't talk to him and then negotiate and make it happen, right? And then Bob comes out and says that he doesn't want to make the fight happen now, but it's a great fight, and maybe after Devin is finished with DAZN. But why do we have to be finished? Why do we need to talk about anything other than this next fight? We don't want to talk about we have a relationship and a partnership with somebody, and we want to say, oh yeah, well, we'll do that after. Come on, man. You're trying to kill us in business. We do straight business, good business. We signed an agreement. We signed an agreement with Eddie Hearn to do a certain amount of fights, right? And in that agreement, right, we were available to negotiate a fight between Lomachenko, right, through Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. Period. That's it. That's point blank, period. That's it. We signed an agreement and we are available just like Luke Campbell did. Luke Campbell fought him. Luke Campbell just fought him. So what is all this, after stuff?
Yeah.
If the fight was going to be made, it can be made now.
And just to make it clear.
And Bob Arum.
Yeah. Just to make it clear, Bill, there was a 7-figure offer on the table, and Bob Arum killed the notion of the fight taking place because he wants the fight to take place on ESPN. However, obviously, it's Eddie Hearn who's coming up with the money, and Eddie want to put on DAZN because Devin is the champion and Devin fights on DAZN. So, can you confirm that to be true?
No. Let's make it clear that Bob Arum and the team of Bob Arum and Top Rank, along with Lomachenko's team, does not believe in Lomachenko, right? They're just talking. If they believed in Lomachenko, it took Lomachenko one whole year from the time he fought Luke Campbell for the vacant belt to fight against Teofimo Lopez. He had plenty of time to fight then. And now he comes out and says that Devin has his belt, the real WBC belt, man. You see what I'm saying? That's what he said in there.
Right. Now, not we gonna dive into that later, but there was if Lomachenko accepted or if Bob Arum entertained the idea of making the fight happen, there was a 7-figure offer on the table for Lomachenko to make if he would have accepted to fight Devin Haney next.
7-figure offer was on the table.
Right. Now, Lomachenko, he did acknowledge. This is what Lomachenko said. He said, it's up to the promoters either Bob can negotiate with Eddie and make it happen before April 2022 while I'm still with Top Rank, or I can wait, or I have to wait a year, get out of my contract, and then fight Devin Haney. So he acknowledging that, hey, at the end of the day, either we could make this fight with Bob Arum blessing, or I'm gonna have to wait a whole year until my contract is up. So if Bob Arum said no to the fight, why is Vasyl Lomachenko asking Devin Haney to send the real contract when Bob said no to the fight? Well, I guess Bill will be right back. But yeah, that makes no sense at all because, like I said, hold on, let me get Bill's take on that. Yeah, Bill, you there? You're the audio. Okay.
Yeah, the audio was messing up. Are you here now?
Yeah. Hey, did you hear my question? Did you hear my question, Bill?
Absolutely, I heard your question. Absolutely. And what
Okay.
I'm saying is point blank period is these fights can be made, but it takes two to tango, and it takes as much pressure as Devin puts on Eddie Hearn to call, as much pressure as that Lomachenko has to put on his promoter as well, right? To entertain it. Not come back to the internet, not come back to Twitter, right? I'm talking to the managers. And so the manager, Igis Klimas, never reached back out to me and say, hey, what's going on? We got a stalemate. You know what I mean? He never reached back out to me. That my phone is right there. He can call me. You know what I mean? All that bullshit. He comes back to the thing and then says, why did you reach out to Linares? Why you reach out to Linares to see about the thing? Because you did never come back. You didn't never come back the next day. You didn't come back the other day. You didn't come back. You were satisfied with Bob Arum protecting you like he's been doing. You had 1 year. You had 1 year that you could have fought Devin, right? You had also the opportunity, instead of when you could have let Devin fight Luke Campbell, but you came in and petitioned to fight for the vacant belt. You asked them, could you, because you're a decorated champion, could you do it? And when you beat Luke Campbell, you then had an opportunity to fight him. You chose not to. You waited 1 whole year. Then you got beat. Then Devin started negotiating with Jorge Linares. He asked, oh, where's Lomachenko at?
Man, it seems like Bill's phone died. Let me see. Let me hit him up real quick. So, like I said, there's a lot of confusion, but Lomachenko, he wants to hide behind Bob. That's the end of the story. He tells Bob says behind closed doors, we're not interested in the fight right now. We rather wait till Devin leaves the zone. And then Lomachenko says otherwise. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he had an entire year, right? And then even when I talked to Igis Klimas, right, I reached out to his manager, right, on more than one occasion. I didn't call him on more than one occasion, right? Now, to make the fight happen. If it was some problems, if he could make it happen with Bob Arum would be vocal about it, right? So Bob Arum said that he would serve Lomachenko up, but he would want us to come over and do something on Top Rank, right? We'd want us to come over and do something as an independent. He would rather work with us. He wants to work with us outside of Eddie. What kind of sense does that make? He's never said that to any other fighter.
Bob did say.
I told you guys that if we get Lomachenko in the ring, we're going to punish him. Period. All these narratives that we got to be doing something, that we got to fight somebody else. No, right? Bob said that it's a great fight, which I agree that it's a great fight. The only thing that I said was that if they wanted to make the fight happen, right, it would be dialogue. It would be back and forth. It would be something different than Lomachenko doing all the talking. Since when has he did the talking? He said, talk to the manager. I talked to the manager. The manager said that he wasn't the guy to talk to. So if he's not the guy to talk to, why don't Lomachenko shut up? He's not in a position. He can't do what he want to do, right? So shut up. Talk to Bob Arum. Stop talking to Twitter and stop talking to everybody, right? When you had an opportunity, right? When Devin was there, right? You didn't do nothing. You didn't say nothing. Now you keep saying something. I'm talking from an executive standpoint. They're fighters, right? But he's saying coward, he's saying lying and all that. No, brother, it's you. It's been you. And you ask for an offer instead of your manager reaching back out to make something happen. You ask for an offer after weeks after, right? That you didn't know that Linares had signed. You waited. Oh, Linares has signed. Now send over an offer. Send over an offer to who? To Bob Arum? We've been trying to talk to Bob Arum. I've been trying to talk to him about you. Now, one thing about you is you said it's okay to talk to your manager, right? Tell your promoter it's okay to talk to me.
Now, is simply Lomachenko hiding behind Bob Arum? Is this or you think is otherwise?
1,000%. 1,000% he's hiding behind him. He hid behind him with the franchise belt. He hid behind him then. And then when things didn't go his way, then he says, I didn't know nothing about it, right? So now you just said that you're ready to fight in May, but you're not ready to fight in May because you said it's up to the promoters. So you're not ready.
But he does know something about it now because he acknowledged that he has to get Bob Arum blessings, and Bob completely shut down the fight. So why will you guys? What don't make sense to me is why is he requesting a contract to be sent if Bob said no to the fight? It's like you just want the contract to be sent for no reason, so they could just trash it. Is that
absolutely? Listen, listen. No, he doesn't want the contract to be sent. He doesn't want to fight Devin. He is doing what he's saying that Devin is doing. He's lying.
Yes, sir.
He's lying. Since when has he been speaking? Right? Bob Arum spoke for him, and Bob Arum said that he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. You see what I'm saying? So now you're speaking, right? So which we thought initially, okay, well, damn, this is the first time Loma spoke, right? So we thinking that he says, I'll be ready then. And then we said, okay, I call Aegis, and Aegis says, no, you got to talk to Bob. Talk to him for what? You said that he was going to be ready, and you said talk to the manager. So haven't you guys already did that?
Yeah, but what's crazy, Bill, Aegis told Steve Kim, Aegis, Lomachenko manager, he said that he talked to Bill Haney and Eddie Hearn. He talked to both Bill Haney and Eddie Hearn, and he said they contacted me, but they followed up with nothing.
He said don't send him nothing.
But but ironically, he
admitted don't send him nothing. Tried to talk to Bob, which they knew then that wasn't going to work. Because they hadn't massaged Bob. They hadn't rubbed Bob and said that Bob was waiting on it. Nothing.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Vasyl Lomachenko manager says that, they followed up with nothing when he said, don't send me nothing. I mean, that's crazy. But I got a super chat for you real quick, Bill. Kenny, shout out to my man. He said it's crazy. Devin has to essentially study two opponents, and while one of them makes up their mind, and this after two mandatories look the other way. Yes, sir. I mean, that's what Devin has to deal with. Now, speaking of with Devin Haney, negotiating with two fighters at the same time, the moment me and you did the interview in which you informed me that you guys are going to send an offer to Team Lomachenko and Bob Arum, that's when Linares was denying the fact. Ryan Garcia has officially petitioned to one fight before facing Haney, with the hopes that the circumstances regarding hold on circumstances regarding Live Gate will improve in the coming months.
Now, listen, circumstances have changed. Texas is wide open. Florida is wide open. Canelo is killing them. Canelo is killing them. Canelo is getting money hand over fist. His big homie is getting money like a, you did. His big homie is getting money. He's checking it like the roof is on fire.
Yes,
so
sir.
Those are the coming months, and you've never seen where a fighter that has fought for an interim title had the world champion fly all the way to Texas, watch the fight, and then he petitions to fight somebody else.
Well, what's your take, Bill, on the WBC? He came out and said that both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, they requested to postpone the fight and agreed to fight later on. Let me play the audio for you. Let me play the audio for you real quick.
I just played it.
Lightweight division. If you give me your version, then we can break it down.
Yes, of course, we began the year with a bang with Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell. Tremendous fight, January the 2nd. We have been in communications with all camps to see what is it that is doable. A fight of that magnitude, both sides, Haney and Ryan Garcia, wish it to be held with public, with a sold-out stadium. So Haney is going to do a defense against Linares, and the winner has to face Fortuna. Fortuna had a signed contract to fight Linares, and due to COVID last year, that fight did not take place, and Fortuna has accepted Linares to face Haney with the condition that the winner faces him within 90 days. We understand Teofimo Lopez is doing the IBF mandatory in I believe, June. And we're waiting for Ryan Garcia to see what is going to be his next step. But what we have right now confirmed is Haney against Linares and the winner fighting Fortuna.
You mentioned Haney versus Linares. I spoke to Eddie Hearn before Devin Haney boxed Yuriorkis Gamboa. Obviously, I've caught up with him since then. And the plan was always to be the interim champion, Ryan Garcia, because obviously he beat Luke Campbell, versus the winner of Devin Haney versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. How come that fight can't be made? We can see fans now in America. Texas is now opened up. Las Vegas is soon to open up.
There we go.
There's fans around, as you mentioned. Even with Canelo a few weeks ago, and the situation is changing. Why did Devin Haney fight Jorge Linares when he has an interim champion in waiting as well as a mandatory challenger in waiting?
Well, we discussed this with both camps. I was talking with Mr. Haney continuously, talking to Golden Boy and talking to Garcia side. And what they both requested was to give more time for that fight to build up.
Well, Bill, you heard the WBC said that all parties requested for the fight to be postponed in a way. And then, can we see that again? We're very disappointed that Ryan Garcia is choosing not to fight Haney at this time, especially when this fight with Campbell was a final eliminator. And then on the other text, you showed that he petitioned to not fight Devin Haney. So hold on. The light is kind of it's kind of hard to see. Ryan Garcia has officially petitioned. Yeah, have it facing the camera. Have it facing the camera.
Hold on. Hold on.
Ryan Garcia has officially petitioned to one fight before facing Devin Haney. The hopes that the COVID, I guess, regarding the gate will improve in the upcoming months. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We see it. So
Hold on. Yep.
you can't make this up,
So
man.
that
You
was
literally can't make it up.
that's not on our that's not because we wanted it. What? That's not because we wanted. We listen. They did, and we don't got no problem with still fighting him at another date. But we didn't. We weren't the one that's petition. We go along with it, but you know what I mean. You can't blame that on us.
That's right.
Hold on.
Yeah, we see it. It's clear as day. Ryan Garcia petitioned not to fight, and that they sorry for the disappointment that Ryan Garcia chose not to fight Devin Haney after the eliminator with Luke Campbell. So, I mean, like I said, this is all on Ryan Garcia and his team because Devin Haney wanted the smoke from day one.
Come on, man. No, you're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do our best to make these fights happen, but you're not going to. No one is going to assassinate Devin as if he's not ready. We didn't fly to Texas to to then say that we want to not fight him, right? What would we fly to Texas for, right? We flew to Texas and the guy says, Tank, who we want Tank? We want Tank. Come on, man. What we gonna fly to Texas for then?
That's right. That's right.
At a time when if you're not really making any money and you're not really even doing nothing, then you should probably stay home. Right? It's not a time to be just jumping around just to be jumping around.
That's right. Now, I do want to ask you, because obviously we know Ryan Garcia. He always said he don't want to fight Devin Haney until last because he believes Devin beats Tio and Tank. According to Ryan, he says Devin is the toughest out of the bunch, so he want to save him last. There's no secret. So there's no surprise to him petitioning not to fight Devin Haney, just like Teofimo and Lomachenko did. And even including Fortuna. But I do want to ask you, because people try to twist like Lomachenko. He said that Loma said Devin didn't contact his team until the Linares fight was agreed to, even though we have it documented that when you contacted Lomachenko manager, Linares tweeted that Devin lied about sending him a contract, and he was denying a contract being sent, just like Lomachenko is today. So how surprising is it to see Lomachenko trying to make it seem like Devin Haney is fighting Linares is already a foregone conclusion, when even Eddie Hearn already confirmed that they agreed to all of the terms, but the fight is not signed.
No.
He has petitioned for the WBC. Oh, that's for the Fortuna joint. Well, Fortuna, that's a fight that is possible for the future, but it's clear as day that in the past he obviously didn't want to fight Devin for some odd reason that all the other fighters seem to follow.
Bro, I can't make these receipts up, dog. When Devin petitioned to fight him, right, for the belt, what did he do? So how do you fall from number 1 to number 2 if you're not trying to do something else other than fight him? Come on, man. Keeping it 100.
Right.
When it came to the glory, just like with Floyd and the rest of it, when it came time that it was all about just the money, the fighters didn't have no problem. I mean, the promoters don't have no problem selling them out, right? But when it came to the glory and getting in the position, they weren't nowhere to be found. When he caught wind, when Javier Fortuna and Lomachenko caught wind, what they weren't trying to fight him. We've been trying to fight him, right? When Jorge Linares, they was trying to fight Jorge Linares, right? Jorge Linares was trying to fight Luke Campbell. He tried to fight, he beat Luke Campbell, excuse me. Jorge Linares was trying to fight Ryan Garcia, and he was trying to fight Javier Fortuna, right?
Yeah.
Them guys didn't want to fight us, and they didn't want to fight him. Well, I'll take that back. The fight with Javier Fortuna and Linares fell out because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right? Javier Fortuna didn't want to fight us, right? We started looking for Jorge Linares because we know that Jorge Linares will fight anybody. Just like we know about Gamboa. Gamboa only had lost to, everybody's talking about Gamboa, he had only lost to Gervonta Davis and Terrence Crawford. Right? And the one the one loss that he had because he didn't train and all the other stuff that's legendary, just like Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares didn't lose to Luke Campbell. Jorge Linares only lost to Lomachenko, and then he lost to Cano at 140 pounds, which Cano was heavier, and Cano jumped all over him on the first round and got him out of there, and he moved back to 135. Other than that, he ain't lost in years.
Yeah.
Years. He got more fights in that he didn't won than Lomachenko got or Teofimo Lopez got.
Yes, sir.
So everybody talk about the Cano fight, right? But they conveniently don't talk about the years and years and years of him winning and only losing to Vasyl Lomachenko after he dropped him. He the only man to drop him in his whole time of being on the pound for pound list. He's the only person that sat him down. So we know that he got the power. We know that he's a hell of a fighter. And although we've been looking for the right name, right? We've been looking for the right name. We've knocked on all those guys' doors about fighting. When we talk about the WBC, he's won every belt inside the WBC. We had Gervonta Tank Davis that was his mandatory. Instead of Gervonta Davis exercising the mandatory, he went to the WBA and took a junior belt. Right? That's what he did. And then after that, he dropped down to 130. Right? When Teofimo Lopez and Javier Fortuna was in the WBC tournament, they got out the tournament. We stayed in the tournament and we fought the number one person to fight Luke Campbell or to fight Vasyl Lomachenko was Zaira Abdulaev. When we defended against the undefeated Alfredo Santiago, He was ranked in the top 10 in the WBC.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Devin definitely fought his way up to all the way to the top. But what's your take though on Devin? Excuse me, on Lomachenko, pretty much trying to pretend as if Devin only called him out when Linares fight was already signed and agreed to. When Linares, when Devin Haney was beefing back with Lomachenko, Linares was denying the fact that Devin Haney sent him a contract, and he said that Devin Haney was lying, right? So we know that wasn't true. We know Devin Haney was available, and he was still available for a week after that. And we did not hear anything from Lomachenko or his team. So what's your take on Lomachenko pretty much trying to blame Linares in a way for the fallout?
You can't blame Linares, because in the time that you've been talking, and you were talking, and you and Devin was talking, right? Bob Arum came out and said it's a great fight. Someone asked Bob Arum, they says, Bob, have you been hearing on Twitter what they've been going? He says, yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, that is a great fight. That's a fight that we would be willing to make when Haney leaves the zone, right? And I said, damn, right? So I talked to Egis Klimas, and Egis Klimas said, man, you got to talk to Bob Arum. You got to talk to Bob Arum. Well, why would we be talking to Egis Klimas if we got to talk to Bob Arum? Why would I talk to Bob Arum if Bob Arum already then offered us and said, hey, publicly said, hey, listen, when you get through with them, come on over, right? So why would I then piss on Bob Arum's head, and Bob Arum is offering some kind of deal? Not that I'm entertaining the deal, right? But by showing respect, right? And saying, okay, come on over and let's talk about making something happen. So what am I going to do then? Only thing I can do is say is he doesn't believe in him the way that he believed in every other fighter that he sent over there to Eddie, to the zone. Because the fighters that he believed, and the times that he believed Lomachenko would do it, the times that he believed Jose Ramirez would do it, the times that he didn't believe every other fighter would do, he sent them over to get the belt, get the money, and come on back home.
Yes, sir. Now, I do have a revelation by Vasyl Lomachenko in which he said, quote, Devin Haney has a real WBC belt, the one I got beating Campbell.
Absolutely.
They gave me a franchise belt, and the real belt went to Haney automatically.
Absolutely.
Teofimo, he got his belt without fighting anyone. This is what Lomachenko told to Snow Queen LA. She had a great interview with Lomachenko. So what's your take on the revelation by Vasyl Lomachenko telling the whole truth, the whole absolute truth on old media and the franchise designation, admitting and acknowledging Devin Haney title as the real WBC title?
I mean, he finally came out. He finally came out. Now he knows he knows all the rules. He knows all the politics. He knows everything that happened with him getting the belt. He knows that he was given the belt, and Devin has the belt Devin won the position to be interim champion to fight Vasyl Lomachenko, right? And Lomachenko opted to be given a franchise award that he didn't think he was going to lose. He thought that it was something that you could not lose, like Mauricio said initially, right? Then Teofimo Lopez petitioned to the WBC, and they sent it to the Board of Governors that stated that, and they ruled that if he won, he could be the franchise champion.
So Teofimo petitioned. Did he petition through email though?
Absolutely, he petitioned through email. Absolutely, he emailed them, right? Then they submitted it to the Board of Governors, right? And that's what happened.
So he petitioned not to fight Devin Haney. Now, just to make it clear, Vasyl Lomachenko, he pretty much admitted that he was stripped of the real WBC title, and they gave him a franchise title in order to save face.
No, he didn't. No, he vacated. He vacated.
Vacated.
He vacated.
Oh, Okay, he vacated. That's fair enough. Now, well, I guess that kills the whole franchise designation claims of that being a real belt, like Teofimo been trying to convince the world, claiming he's undisputed when there's a huge dispute as we speak. I have a super chat for you real quick. My man said, Trill Bill, my
Oh,
big
TB.
brother. Salute, Aki. Yes, sir. Appreciate the love and support. Keep your foot on their neck, Aki. Salute to Bill Haney and Team DHP. Much love from Full Square Promotion. Yes, sir. Salute. Now, what's your take on Teofimo Lopez? He came out and said he claiming that he did not request the IBF mandatory exception to fight Devin Haney, but his manager did.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. His manager said that Top Rank had the option. They're passing the buck. Top Rank could have did it. The manager could have did it. Teofimo saying, I got people that do that. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to making the fight happen, right? You did everything. You colluded. You did everything that you could and went against Top Rank and made the fight happen with Kambosos. When Bob Arum said the fight he was looking for was Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. And he said that Devin Haney would be number 3. Go on Fred on Barbershop Conversation to see me and Bob Arum talk. He says, well, you'll be getting a call then, right? But by the time before that could happen, Teofimo Lopez had already colluded with George Kambosos.
Right.
He had already colluded with George Kambosos. And understand that we do good business and we don't do anything to fall out of business, right? To go against Eddie or to secretly go talk to somebody. I mean, Eddie knows as a co-promoter, this is what Devin is supposed to do. He's supposed to deliver the best fight to happen. He's supposed to promote himself and he's supposed to get the news out to the people where he stands. So that's what I do, whether you like it or whether you like it or love it. You see what I'm saying? This is what we do.
Yeah. Now, Teofimo own manager, he came out and said that they could have requested an exception in order to fight a Devin Haney. However, they didn't. So, what's going on with Tio? Why is he claiming that his manager did something that his own manager already confirmed that he did it?
Absolutely, brother. That's what I say about it. Is the same thing that I say about Teofimo Lopez. You talk about Dave McWater and Dave McWater having the Manager of the Year award, right? So then you come back and say that Dave is lying. Dave is on record as saying that Top Rank could have requested an exception, but they didn't. So that shows you that the level of confidence that they have in their fighters against Devin Haney. I don't say that they're not bad fighters or they're not great fighters or they're not good fighters. I just said when it comes to Devin, it's a difference. It's a difference. Bob Arum, right here, his office is in Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world. Devin Haney trains every day in the fight capital of the world. It's guys that come in here in rotation that want that position with Devin. As they come through the thing, we beat them up and we send them back home, Jack. You know what I mean? We got a graveyard, right? If you talk about him, it's a graveyard for real. When you talk about, and everybody be like, oh, the dad is just talking. No, I'm saying, show me where you play the clip. We done played many clips, right? Show me the clip that he got his nose busted. Show me the clip that he hit the canvas, you know, and he grazed the canvas, right? We got all this shit with them, right? We talk about when somebody that ran up on Devin, like Devin did with Teofimo Lopez and said, hey, shit, we may as well go on ahead and make it happen now. And the fighter said, no, just wait. It's going to happen. We're going to get, when we get the belts. Well, we got the belts now. And then you say it's not a belt, right? And Lomachenko, the pound for pound guy that's still on the pound for pound list, come on and say he got the real belt. And y'all still don't want to listen to him. He said it. He said he got the real belt. And also he said that Devin is the only one that got something that he can go get because Teofimo Lopez don't want to rematch him.
Yes, sir.
Johnny Mac, close the door.
Now, where did Teofimo and Devin Haney spar? Did they spar in Top Rank gym or in Devin Haney gym?
Man, I got a call from Top Rank, some of Top Rank's henchmen, and they called me and they said they wanted, can we get some work with Teo? We took him over to one of the gyms over there and had him met up there, worked him over, real good, real decent, right? They called back, they said they want some more, right? We take him over there to Floyd Mayweather gym, work him over even more decent. You see what I'm saying? And then when Devin met up with him, Devin told him, man, you couldn't even hit me, man. He said, yeah, that's okay. You didn't hear him saying, couldn't hit you. I was beating the shit out of you. Boy, I beat you from here to here to here. I just stopped you. No, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because if he would have lied, Devin would have took off on him. He was in pocket. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to talk that shit, but when you're in the streets, it's different. When you're in these streets, it's different. You in the boxing streets, listen, we go to the same gyms. Teofimo be around here. They ever pull up with his boxing bag and just say, okay, let's put in some work. He's capping.
Yes, sir. Now, what about him claiming that him and Devin or anyone else, they can agree to a fight now in order to fight next after Composis? But how is that possible?
How do you go to the internet and do it? How do you go to the internet and do it? You saying we can agree, but I'm here in Las Vegas and you haven't said I've been reaching out to the Haneys and they're not answering. You talking about you going on we can do it right now. How can we do it and you not even calling us? You're not even responding to us, brother. When we said 4 million, when we said the 4 million, I took the initiative and said 4 million. And then when you went and met with our partner, you said 10 million.
Right.
How can you make something happen with a guy like that?
Yeah. Now, and also, what about the dispute that Teo is having with Top Rank? Like, how can you agree to a fight later on when
he said we go talk to Top Rank and he's not talking to Top Rank. you come talk to us, man. You see what I'm saying? If you got Triller online, right? You got Triller online for a fight, right? You got him on line for a fight right now. You guys are doing good and all this and this. So why not talk to you and talk about Triller then? If that's what it is, why say we can talk to Bob, right? You guys send him back over at Bob because you already know what it is. You know you got problems with Bob, man, right? And you know Bob hasn't had the confidence in none of you guys to put y'all in the ring with him. That's the problem. But the difference is with Eddie been on deck. Eddie been vocal about it with all of them, right? So why we don't see the back and forth? Why we don't see Bob come out like he do about Earl Spence? Why you don't see him come out again out like he talk about the Deontay Wilder?
Right.
Right. The first fighter and the only fighter that you've ever heard him say that when you finish, come on over, is Devin. Which at some point in time you have to take that as a level of a compliment or respect, right? The fact that you'll say that, right? Because it's something that you like. It's something that you like about the guy, right? And we appreciate that. The only thing that I don't like is when you diminish his skills or you diminish him or you say he's not, the people don't want to see him or he need to fight somebody. Okay, then it's something different. But if you saying that the guy's not ready, or if you saying that I don't want to put him in with him because, okay, just tell the people that. You did tell the people that. So let's move on. It's Linares.
Right. Yeah, you froze a little bit, Bill. Okay, you back on. Yeah, so
I said, let me reiterate that.
We heard you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we heard you loud and clear. Now, I do want to, clarify though, if Teofimo is claiming that he's going to go to war with Top Rank and that he will be a free agent, how can you guys schedule a fight or work on a fight, negotiate with Top Rank when they beefing back and forth with each other?
He never talked to Top Rank when he was talking to George Kambosos. He was talking to George Kambosos and the teams was talking to it. He didn't talk to Bob Arum. Bob Arum said that. So why do you need Bob Arum now?
Yeah. You froze, Bill. You still there?
I'm not froze. I'm not froze. I'm not
Sure.
froze. I'm looking you dead in your face. That's what I'm looking you in.
Okay, good. That's what's up. Can Devin beat the Ish out of Rolly if it's not if I'm not mistaken, he's the interim champion. He's talking Big Ish, question mark.
Absolutely. I like Rolly. I like Rolly, what he does. Rolly raises his hand to everybody, right? He's not, he doesn't seem like he's picking people. He even says that he would fight Teofimo Lopez. So I got to give Rolly his grams, even though he seems a bit crazy, right? But crazy in a good way. You know what I mean? A fighter has to have a little bit of crazy in him. You know what I mean? But, right, if we had picked Rolly, would anyone say that he's in the top 10? Because he's not in the top 10, but he's a great fighter, right? He's a great fighter, tough fighter. And sometimes you have fighters that aren't in the top 10 that should be in the top 10, that are good enough to be in the top 10, right? And Rolly Romero is one of them.
Yeah. Hey Bill, I got one more question for you, but you breaking up real bad as far as the footage, not your voice. So can you exit and come back right away? So for the people that's arriving late, I know a lot of people are questioning, oh, Loma said he ain't received the contract. Yeah, because Bob said no to the fight. So why will Eddie send the contract if Bob didn't agree to the terms? Your audio, Bill? Yo,
Can you
Bill.
hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
now I can hear you. I can hear you
Yeah.
now. Okay, now it's good.
Better yet, it's like, how could Lomachenko send over an offer to Tank Davis, right? All the many times that he called out Tank Davis and said that he wanted to fight Tank Davis. Did anyone say send Tank Davis an offer? When Tank Davis didn't respond, when Floyd didn't respond, you knew that they didn't want to fight, right? When it comes to Devin Haney, it's always something, right? Send over an offer when they're not going to negotiate the fight. They don't want to talk about the fight. How are you going to get a fight when you're just talking about sending just a blank piece of paper? You're sending a blank piece of paper only for it to get torn down, right? You never hear what money he wants. You never hear nothing that he's talking about, right? But you say just send over a paper. No, you said you didn't say send the paper. You said talk to Igis Klimas, and I reached out to him. And when I reached out to him, he said he wasn't the person to talk to. You got to talk to Bob. So you heard what Bob said. Bob said he's not interested in it. So should we send Bob a piece of paper? Right? No, we talked about him and we told him it's a 7-figure offer that's available for Lomachenko. And guess what? He missed out on the opportunity.
It takes two to rumble. It takes two to rumble. But we have another fighter that said that he looking to rumble after Composis. He said, I'll fight Devin for the WBC belt. But then after that, they're going to tell me to fight Tank for the WBA. What's your take on that?
Bro, if you fought Devin and then you fought Tank, you'd make a ton of money and you shouldn't complain. If you fought Tank and you fought Devin, you'd make a ton of money, so why complain? Who cares if you had to fight Tank next, right? If you felt that you can beat both of the guys, then fight them, right? You're talking about calling out Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez, and they're not even talking about you. So you're saying that I'm going to go and fight for legacy when you left a piece of the WBC back. Lomachenko says that Devin Haney has his belt. So if Devin Haney has his belt, what are the two belts that you had? You had a franchise belt and a counterfeit belt. Because you didn't win another belt. You didn't win Lomachenko's belt. He says Devin has that. So if Lomachenko said all he came on that night was with a franchise belt, why are you capping like you got two belts? And Loma is a pound for pound guy. He's on the list. He's been in the boxing business forever. So if we're going to trust any part about his word, then trust that then, right? But people don't want to listen to that, right? He's saying that Devin Haney has his belt. So what's the other belt that Teofimo got? He's showing two belts. How could you win two belts on one night? You had the franchise award, and you were given a token of appreciation for everything that you're doing with the WBC, but that's not the WBC world title. And if Mauricio says that that's his guy, that's okay. That's okay. Your guy needs to, like he said before, give him a call and say, I want to fight Devin Haney. And he said he could do that, right? Didn't he say he could do that?
Yeah, he did. He did say
well,
that.
Why? Okay, if he can call him, why he ain't called him all this time?
Apparently he don't want the fight.
If he can call him now, why he didn't call him all this time?
Yes, sir. I mean, you got a great point.
When they beat Lomachenko, who was the name that they said?
Devin Haney.
The father and the father and the son, right?
Yes, sir. They said Devin Haney's next.
So they knew as soon as they came out the ring that the people wanted to see them. So why you didn't call Mauricio then? Why'd you call Cambosos?
Right. Now, there was never a confusion when it came to the WBA super title, though, being the real belt and the face of that organization. It's in every division, unlike the franchise. The franchise is only in 2 divisions, maybe only in 1 right now. However, the title Devin has is in every single division. That's why Vasyl Lomachenko acknowledged that as the real title. So I don't understand why Teo claiming, they're going to ask me to go get the WBA regular title when he knows there's no confusion there. It's just want to create some.
Hey, my man, listen. No, it's not anything confusion because them are great fights. If it was a fight with Devin and Tank or the fight with Devin and Teo or Teo and Tank, what's the problem, man? If you fought Devin and you had to fight Tank, what's the problem, right? You're talking about 2 fighters that are recognized around the world, right? 2 fighters that have different styles that could pose a problem for you, that you show that you have the lock. You have the key to open up the lock. What's the problem? Right. We've asked to fight all those guys. We ain't turned down no fight. And when it was a problem, when the fight didn't happen, we still. All the times that we wanted to fight Javier Fortuna, then when we didn't have the belt and we were on champion recess, we petitioned to fight Javier Fortuna. He didn't want to fight. Then he said he wanted to fight after he heard already that we were talking about Jorge Linares. And when I asked the people, I said, well, Linares, right? That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Everybody says it's a great fight. It's a great fight for Dev. Great fight for Dev. And here come these guys. Where was these guys? Where was these guys? Where was these guys at? Where was these guys at when we were in Texas at Ryan Garcia's fight? And if Lomachenko, if he has your belt, why did Devin have to say something then? If you know that he got your belt, why you didn't say nothing all this time? You said something after Devin said, where are you? Devin said, oh, this dude been quiet. Where's he at? He said, I'm here and I'm ready. Devin said, are you ready in April and May? Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. He said, are you ready in April and ready in May? He says, yes. And you look on his tweet, he says, I'm ready. You probably are ready, but you ain't ready to fight Devin because you're not ready for the date because you haven't even talked to your promoter. You said we need to talk to the promoters. It's up to the promoters. It ain't even up to you, so what are you talking for?
And you guys did talk to the promoter. The only
Absolutely.
one that haven't talked, The only one that haven't talked to the promoter is Lomachenko.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Well, it's not a good look for Loma to hide behind a 90-year-old man. I mean, I'll tell you that much. It's just not a good look. That's why Devin the Boogeyman. That's why Devin the Boogeyman. But yes, sir. Now, man, you don't cooked everybody, Bill. But before I let you go, I do want to get your take on Bernard Hopkins claiming that Ryan Garcia, he is the king. He will be the king in boxing. He has a lot of potential, and everybody want him because he's like a piece of diamond. That's why everyone want Ryan. What's your take on Bernard Hopkins? Comments on Ryan Garcia.
The good brother Bernard Hopkins. Oh my God, I love the brother. I do. I've been watching Bernard Hopkins since I was a kid. He came out of prison. He's a true success story, right? A true rags to riches. He goes from being a fighter, a true underachiever in life, right, to coming from jail, becoming a world champion, becoming an executive in boxing. I mean, he really, really knows the sport of boxing, right? But he don't know shit about diamonds, right? And when you talk about diamonds, Mr. Hopkins, you don't have a zirconian. You have a S1, S2, S3. We talk about diamonds. We talk about these kind. we talk about these kind of diamonds. And that ain't what you got, Mr. Hopkins. Mr. Hopkins, you don't got these. You got those diamonds with what are they called? Because I don't even deal in them. They're called, what's the one that you won't like? It would you be mad as hell if I gave you a diamond with what is it? With carbon and listen, put it this way. It's not the kind of diamond you want on your woman's hand. You understand what I'm saying? Mr. Hopkins. Now, you know about boxing. I got a lot of respect for you. But when it comes to diamonds, if you want to know something about diamonds, come talk to me. And I'll point you in the right direction. When you talk about a diamond, you talk about Devin Haney, VVS1. Colorless. There we go. There we go. My woman puts me down with it. I know. When you talk about Devin, you talk about the VVS. Colorless.
So what kind of Ryan? So what kind of diamond is Ryan?
S1 F color.
Oh. You crazy, Bill. You crazy. Hey, my man said Teofimo got 2 belts in one night and have no mandatories for either one of them. Laugh out loud.
Talk about it. Speak on
yes,
it, Kenny.
Sir.
Speak on it, Kenny. Shout out to Kenny, man. Speak on
yes,
it.
Yes, sir. But is he paying fees for both? Is Teofimo paying fees for both belts?
I hope he is. All that lying and capping he doing. You know what I mean? I hope they charging his ass up for that because they're doing a great job at helping him market something that he's not. So he better be paying.
For that false promotion. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Now, absolutely.
Man, I appreciate you, Bill. You done laid it down. You know what I'm saying? You were spitting on the mic today. So I appreciate your time talking to the fans and clearing everything up. So any last message you have for the fans, Lomachenko, and all of the above?
Well, I just want to say, always, man, it's always a blessing to come on here with you, right? I mean, the truth don't need no help, you know what I mean? And we don't need any help, bro, because that's the only thing that we do is come on here and kick the truth. And one thing about me is I'll keep the receipts to back it up, and I want the people out there to know that Devin is a real fighter. He's been in this for going on 14 years, right? He grew up in the fight capital of the world. There's no secrets in boxing. We have a great fraternity of different brothers and coaches that have mentored Devin, you know what I mean, from the likes of Roy Jones Jr., the Mayweather family. You got Eddie Mustafa, who's had a hand. You got Virgil Hunter down there in Oakland, who's did a tremendous job helping him. We got Billy Giles that you guys don't hear a lot about, former coach of Hector Camacho. We even spent some time down there with Freddie Pendleton down there in Miami, Florida, right? You mean, it's a plethora of knowledge and wisdom that has went into my son that I am thankful and I'm grateful for, right? I'm grateful for the brothers that have shared the knowledge and shared the wisdom with me that I can also translate it to Devin in the corner, right? So blessings to all of them that made it happen for us, because without them, we couldn't be who we are today. Thank you for the people for always getting the message out, whether they like it or love it. They still share their energy, and we're forever grateful to you guys as well, right? Please, by all means, stay safe out there. You know what I mean? And hug your babies, hug your mama, you know what I mean? Your girl, man. Show love to your family, because life is short, brother. And closing in that, blessings on top of blessings, man.
I appreciate you, Bill. I really do, man. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you, King. Salam alaikum.
Yes, sir. Wa alaikum salam, Bill. Appreciate it. That's Bill Haney. Like I said, we done cleared everything up. So for Vasyl Lomachenko, instead of telling Devin Haney to send the contract, he needs to talk to Bob and tell him to negotiate instead of declining the fight and refusing the fight and refusing to negotiate. Because if Eddie and Bob can't agree to the terms because Bob Arum killed the notion of the fight, why the heck he gonna send him a contract for? You only send a contract, like that's the last step in negotiations. The first step is to agree to the terms, to agree to the money, send the term sheet, agree to the terms, so on and so forth. Then send the contract in order to sign it. But what the heck you gonna send the contract for if Bob Arum said no to the fight? And Lomachenko said it's up to the promoters, it's up to my promoter Bob, because supposedly that he's exclusive to ESPN. So if that's the case, why are you telling Devin Haney to send you a contract? So you could throw it to the trash? So nobody got time to waste to write off a contract that they're going to throw to the trash. Time is money. Shout out to my man, JK7. Salute Aki and Bill. As a fan, I appreciate Haney being one of the realest ones, and hopefully no duck boxing be back soon. Boxing be back soon. Hopefully no one duck boxing be back soon. I don't know about that no one duck, man, because they all ducking. I mean, we got fighters hiding behind promoters. We got fighters hiding behind a 90-year-old promoter. I never thought I would see that. So that's boxing is just not in a good place, if I'm being honest with you, because when you have fighters just blaming it on promotional companies and promote the promoter, this and that, because different situations they blame it on something else. Like, for example, Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. Matter of fact, I have it right here. Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. Shakur Stevenson revealed that Oscar doesn't want the fight. He don't want the fight next, regardless of what he's telling the public, right? Now, Bob Arum, he came out and clarified that that's a fight he really wants. It's the second biggest fight after Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Is the biggest fight at 130 pounds. So, hold on. I do want to respond to this idiot. My man said, excuse my language, but he said, you are one-sided, Aki. Yeah, I am one-sided. I'm always on the truth side. There's always two sides to every story. But when the truth is spoken, the other side is nothing but a lie. I don't want to be on the lie side. Why will I entertain a lie? I'm going to go ahead and tell the truth and keep it moving. Talking about, you one-sided. Yeah, the truth is always the side that I'm on. The whole absolute truth, and I always put it together like puzzle. That's why you tuning in. Because if you truly feel like I'm one-sided, you won't be here right now. I know you're going to find something better to do than listening to someone that's one-sided. Unless that one side you talking about and you referring to is the truth. So you want to hear the truth because you're allergic to it. Even though it hurts your ego, even though it hurts your feelings, but you're just so allergic to the truth that you have to continue to listen to it. That's why you're here today. But nevertheless, like I said before, Shakur Stevenson, he came out and revealed that Oscar Valdez does not want to fight next, regardless of what Oscar Valdez tells the public, regardless of what he tells Maximum Hypocrisy on ESPN, so on and so forth. Shakur is revealing that that's not a fight he wants next. We'll see, right? Now, ducking season continues, obviously, but just to make it clear, Bob Arum came out and revealed to the public that at the end of the day, it's up to the fighters. This is what Bob said. He said that he talked to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, matter of fact, came up to him and told him that's the only fight he wants right now. That's the main fight, matter of fact, that he wants right now. So, obviously, you will expect Bob Arum to make the fight happen because both fighters are on the same network. There's no excuse. Now the narrative is, now Bob Arum is saying it's up to the fighters. At the end of the day, if Oscar Valdez really wants the fight, he could make it happen. But because Oscar Valdez and his team might choose to go another direction, then he can't force him to fight Shakur. So, pretty much Bob Arum is blaming it on Oscar Valdez for ducking. Now, when it comes to Lomachenko and Devin Haney, it's a different situation. Now it's Bob Arum. Now they blame him Bob. And Lomachenko haven't talked to Bob Arum to this day. Lomachenko don't know what's going on. He trying to pretend as if Bob Arum said no. He don't know. He don't know if Bob said no to the fight or not. Claiming send the contract when Bob said no. So how the heck they gonna send the contract if Bob said no? You can't have it both ways. You can't say no to the fight and then say send the contract. Well, Bob should have said yes to the fight so Eddie Hearn could send the contract and the offer that they had for Vasyl Lomachenko, which is 7 figures. So the point that I'm trying to make is when it's always, see, for when it comes to Vasyl Lomachenko, they're trying to save face for him, so they blaming Bob. Bob Arum is taking the L, and Vasyl Lomachenko is hiding behind a 70-year-old man. But then when it comes to Oscar Valdez, now Bob Arum can't take the blame because they're on the same network, so on and so forth. So he's pointing fingers toward the fighter. You see what's going on here? That's why Shakur Stevenson has to do what Devin Haney is doing and keep applying pressure on all of these fighters that's avoiding him. The public has to know. We have to know if someone is avoiding Shakur. When Josh Warrington avoided, when Oscar Valdez avoided, when Perchet, all these fighters that decline the fight with Shakur Stevenson, you do not have to be nice and play by the rules and try to earn the respect of everybody because you're not going to be able to, since you're really high on that coincidental list. The more talented you are, the higher you're on the coincidental list. So you will never get your just due. You best believe if Canelo is campaigning at 130, he will never, and I put this on everything, he will never fight Shakur Stevenson in his lifetime. Canelo Alvarez haven't fought an undefeated black fighter since 8 years now. The last time Canelo Alvarez fought an undefeated black fighter was Floyd Mayweather 8 years ago. And he lost. So you best believe Canelo, he realized, okay, well, to stay on a winning bracket and to stay winning, I'm going to avoid any undefeated black fighter that could fight. That's why Canelo have been ignoring and pretending as if Andrade and Charlo don't exist to this day. It's been 6 years where both Charlo and Andrade are in the same division as Canelo Alvarez. They were champions as well, even at a time where Canelo wasn't a champion. And Canelo never even looked at their direction, never acknowledged them, never mentioned them, never entertained the idea to fight either or. So you really think he will have ever fought a Shakur if they happen to be in the same division? That's what I'm trying to say here. I know Shakur Stevenson is waiting on his time, but his time will never come if he doesn't force himself on the scene the way Devin Haney is. You see how Devin Haney is being avoided? So is Shakur behind closed doors when it comes to all these fighters. At 126, I heard at one point 20 fighters turned down to fight with Shakur. And then old media has the audacity to question Shakur and say he's moving slowly and top rank, and Bob Arum is protecting him. Protecting him? That's not even in Shakur Stevenson vocabulary. You don't even know what the definition of protecting. because he was the first one to step up when he fought Diaz before Teofimo and all them guys. You see, matter of fact, Shakur Stevenson even called out Vasyl Lomachenko. He said, I believe Shakur Stevenson said that Vasyl Lomachenko has heart problems. He has no heart. He even said that recently, I forgot exactly what he said, but he even dissed him further. So the point that I'm trying to make, you see Shakur Stevenson continuously dissing Vasyl Lomachenko, all type of ways. He's saying, if you guys continue to promote that Vasyl Lomachenko only lost to Teofimo Lopez because of his size, how about tell him to move down to 130 if that's his natural weight division, and we could make a fight happen. I'm willing to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. That's the fight I want the most. This is what Shakur Stevenson told ESPN right before Oscar beat Porchel. And Vasyl Lomachenko haven't responded to this day. Vasyl Lomachenko is acting just like Canelo when it came to Charlo and Andrade. He pretended as if Shakur does not even exist. Like, yeah, he ain't even there. You know what I'm saying? However, he claiming he's a 130 pounder, even though we know Lomachenko fought at 132 and won a gold medal in the amateurs at 132. So he's not a small guy. If you won a gold medal in the amateurs at 132, then 135 is your natural weight division. Because unlike Floyd Mayweather, where he do not, when Floyd Mayweather like fight night, he does not hydrate a couple pounds, or any of the above. He fights at his same weight division. So is however, Vasyl Lomachenko, he gains 10 pounds. He gains 15 pounds after the weigh-in. So he's not a small guy. See, if Lomachenko was truly a small 135 pounder, he would not hydrate at all. However, the fact that Vasyl Lomachenko will gain 10 to 15 pounds after the weigh-in, it tells us that he's a big lightweight. I mean, not a big lightweight, but he's definitely not a small lightweight. That's why he don't want to move down to 130 unless it's for Oscar Valdez or someone beatable. Because if it's Shakur Stevenson, then nah. If it's Gervonta Tank Davis, then he will entertain the idea. But if it's Shakur, now all of a sudden, absolutely not. He don't even know Shakur exists. Shakur violated Vasyl Lomachenko in the media. Devin Haney violated Vasyl Lomachenko in the media, and he hides behind Bob Arum. So when it comes to the Devin Haney fight, I understand if you're going to hide behind Bob Arum and claim you exclusive to ESPN. So what about the Shakur Stevenson fight? If you are exclusive to ESPN, why not fight Shakur Stevenson on ESPN? Since that's the case, why doesn't Lomachenko acknowledge Shakur Stevenson and fight Shakur Stevenson, the man who been calling him out before he even lost to Teofimo Lopez and said, that's my legacy fight? How come Vasyl Lomachenko doesn't tell his promoter, listen, if I can't give Devin Haney, who's on another network, how about I get Shakur Stevenson, who's on my own network and who's been calling me out? We know what time it is. Vasyl Lomachenko won't no smoke with the future of boxing. Period. Simple and plain. So for all the people in the comment section that's trolling, how about you guys call in? Because when y'all favorite fighters are shook, they continue, because the truth hurts, so they continue to talk trash out of their a-hole. However, they won't call in. Y'all favorite fighters are shook. So I'm gonna pick up calls real quick. Give me a couple seconds, and I'll pick up phone calls right now. I'll be right back. So we back. Make sure you guys click on that like button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. We have 800 people tuning in and only 200 likes. So it seems like we have a lot of haters in the house, and the ratio is too far off. Therefore, click on that like button. It's not costing you a penny, only an effort. So make sure you guys click on the like button and subscribe below. How you doing, Aki? Who this is, and where you calling from?
What's going on, Aki? This is Joey from South Florida.
Oh, Joey, what's going on? Hey, let me dive in with you on certain topics I want to talk about real quick. First of all, let me get your take on this. Teofimo, he came out and said that he will sell 2 million plus 2 million pay-per-view. That's his projection. He said that that's what he's going to project. Now, I think that projection is way far off because, in my humble opinion, I think if Teofimo is able to sell 200K against Composis, if they the main event and there's no maybe Jake Paul on the undercard, since Teofimo does not respect you two boxers, so on and so forth, he felt like that's a disrespect to the sport. And since Teofimo confirmed that it's not going to be on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Holyfield, therefore the projection of Teofimo claiming that it's going to sell 2 million pay-per-view is way far off. I think if he sells 200K is a success, in my humble opinion. I don't even see it doing that much. What's your take on Teofimo claiming he will do 2 million sales on pay-per-view against Composis on Triller?
Yeah, I read about that a few days ago. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that, I did find that to be hilarious, considering there's only been one fighter to ever hit 2 million buys, or actually two fighters to hit 2 million pay-per-view buys. But one fighter in particular, that's Floyd Mayweather, and he only hit that with De La Hoya, Canelo, and of course Manny Pacquiao.
And Conor McGregor.
To say Teofimo, oh yeah, and Conor McGregor. So and all those are superstars. Manny Pacquiao is one of the biggest pay-per-view stars. De La Hoya is one of the biggest pay-per-view stars. Canelo is a very big star, and Conor McGregor is the biggest MMA star in history. So in other words, to hit 2 million pay-per-view buys, it's basically saying you got to be the face of your sport. And although Teofimo is a great fighter, he's nowhere near the face of boxing, or has he proven to be anywhere near that level of stardom. So to say he would hit 2 million pay-per-view buys, no, I don't see that being possible. Not at all. Honestly, I project this to do maybe, I'd say about like the same as, honestly, I see Crawford versus Postal numbers, to be honest, and you know what that means.
Yeah, Teofimo definitely tripping when he came out with that projection. That sounded like the 10 million he claimed he was going to get for fighting Composis. He said he was going to get 10 million to fight Composis. It's time for him to make money, and this has seemed like a projection similar to that, because that's all it is. Since maybe he's trying to hype Triller up, but Triller's going to be extremely disappointed once they see the final numbers. Now, what's your take on Shakur Stevenson said that I will never let a scared man beat me. I will never allow a scared man to beat me, claiming that Lomachenko, he fights scared and he fought scared against Teofimo. That type of fighter will never beat me because he was scared hopping into the ring with Teofimo. So what's your take on that comment, and the fact that Lomachenko never acknowledged Shakur or even paid attention to him? Because we see Lomachenko telling Devin to send a contract after Bob pretty much killed the notion of the fight. So if that's the case, fight Shakur then, because Shakur is on the same network, and obviously they were the same promoter.
Yeah. Hearing about that, I mean, I absolutely agree. I just rewatched the Teofimo Lopez Lomachenko fight yesterday. You know, just wanted to see, just to see if maybe I'm crazy and the way I scored it was wrong, and of course it wasn't, because I thought people want to say that Lomachenko fought like Floyd Mayweather, and I'm like, that's very disrespectful. I mean, Floyd Mayweather sticks and moves. He's able to. It's funny how people say Floyd Mayweather runs, and yet he always lands more punches than everybody else. I kid you not. I remember watching the second round. Lomachenko didn't throw a single punch for 2 straight minutes in one round, and yet he threw one flurry, and to most people he won that round. People still to this day argue Lomachenko won the second round against Teofimo Lopez, which blows me away. I never seen 10 seconds of work get praised so highly,
Right.
and yet you got him. And then so the way he fought that's what I call fighting scared. Fighting smart and fighting scared are 2 different things. Floyd Mayweather, Shakur, Devin, they fight smart. Lomachenko in that fight, he fought shook. I couldn't believe it. And if you were a Lomachenko fan, you probably couldn't believe it either. How he was backing up, moving around, and didn't throw a single punch. Not land, didn't even throw. That's what blew me away.
Yeah,
so I agree. I don't think I think Shakur would beat Lomachenko way worse than even Teofimo, simply for the fact that Shakur will just completely take away all of Lomachenko's tools. Shakur Stevenson himself is a southpaw, so I'm pretty sure, and he's also sparred Lomachenko, so he's more familiar with Lomachenko's style than Teofimo is. And also to see the blueprint, Teofimo, I just don't see Lomachenko beating him. And more importantly, Lomachenko showed he didn't have heart in that fight. So Shakur, I agree with what he had to say.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, when it came to that, before all the excuses came along, obviously it was a good fight at the later portion. Lomachenko came on at the later portion, but for the first 7 rounds, he threw little to no punches. He landed 6 power punches, he landed 6 punches, I believe, 6 power punches for the first 6 rounds, which is equivalence of 1 punch per round. Now, when Vasyl Lomachenko was asked about why, he didn't even really bring up the injury. He said, "I couldn't feel the distance." And to hear a guy at that level, at that, they call him the Matrix, and you telling me you couldn't feel the distance? It takes you 7 rounds to feel the distance. It's mind blowing to me, because you see a guy like Shakur, he goes in from round 1, relying on his attributes and physical attributes, but he's also technical, and he relying on his and he's feeling his opponent and the distance from the first bell, from the first second of the first bell. So yeah, I truly believe Shakur wants no part of Shakur Stevenson at all, even though he claims he loved fighting southpaws. Well, guess what? If Lomachenko want to come back to the top, scoring a win on a guy like Shakur, who's one of the hottest fighters in the world, that has potential to be pound for pound number 1, even Devin Haney, both Devin and Shakur, either guy will get him back to the top. And Lomachenko elects to do otherwise, even though he's been promised 3 fights a year. So we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, what's your take on Lomachenko revealing?
Yeah, you're right, Akido.
Yeah, what's that?
Remember, you were right about one thing. When we talked last split decision, you said, you hope that I was right, and you hope that you were wrong. Looks like you were right.
You're talking about
Loma taking the fight.
Yeah. I told you, man. I wasn't so optimistic about him taking the fight, because it's the way he was responding. I could read people with the way they respond. He was telling him, "You a coward. You ain't fought nobody." It's like Devin was forcing him to fight. But basically he was trying to get him to respond. He didn't want to go at him too hard, where he wasn't gonna get a respond like Shakur. But like I said, now he want to hide behind Bob Arum. Like I said, they just want to make excuses when this is an opportunity. Vasyl Lomachenko is coming off a loss, right? So it's mind-boggling that he will pass out on an opportunity like this for all this money, 7-figure offer, and also a belt. It's mind-blowing. But nevertheless, what's your take on Vasyl Lomachenko? He came out and said that Devin Haney has the real belt. The franchise belt is pretty much fake. What's your take on Vasyl Lomachenko telling on old media agenda and spitting the truth when it came to that part out of nowhere.
I mean, that just well, I heard about that yesterday. That blew me. I couldn't believe that Vasyl Lomachenko himself said that. Because at the end of the day, he's the one who took that belt. So it's kind of confusing me. I'm like, so he was aware of the franchise title, but yet he paraded it around like it was a WBC. But now he's saying like, nah, the belt that I had, that Teofimo now has, it's fake. The one that Devin has, because I chose not to fight him, is the real thing. Kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, did he just admit that he avoided Devin Haney? Like he just went out and just said it? Like, well,
indirectly,
that blew me away.
Indirectly, he did. He didn't mean to, but indirectly he did, because apparently he forgot that he vacated that belt or got stripped of it for not fighting his mandatory to grab a fake belt, right? Just like Teo did and Canelo did. So I'm like, yeah, damn, Loma, like you done told on everybody. I know Bob is scratching his head over there with the executives on ESPN. They doing all this false promotion, and Lomachenko done told on everybody because now it's on tape. Like they can't take it back. Lomachenko done said, listen, the real title is the one that Devin Haney has. The one that that Teo has, it's not the real belt. It's not the real belt because he fought nobody for it. I didn't have the title when I fought him. So he did not fight for it. He petitioned through email to get that title. But again, ironically, Teofimo called Devin Haney an email champion, but he the one that petitioned through email to get this title, right? And Devin Haney, he petitions to fight his opponents. Teofimo petitions not to fight his opponents, which is not a good look. But hey, I'm still waiting on your promise, Joey, which is after the Composers fight, we're gonna see what he gonna do.
Well, that's what we're gonna see. That because I'm a man of my word. I proved it to you last time.
Yes, sir. But what's your take? And last topic. Yeah. We gotta talk about this. Obviously, Sean Porter, he said that he will be ready in May to fight Terrence Crawford. Terrence said, "Be on standby because you trying me right now." Now, I don't understand what's going on because apparently the Pacquiao fight is not coming to fruition since Pacquiao is asking for $40 million. So since that's the case, why haven't Sean Porter petitioned to fight Terrence Crawford and force that fight? Because he does not have to beg. Let's make it clear. He does not have to beg in order to fight Terrence Crawford. The whole purpose of being a mandatory is that you will force your opportunity at a title, at the champion, just like Devin did. And if the champion does not want to fight you, they will give up the belt. So my question to you is, what is Sean Porter waiting for? If he is truly sincere, which I believe him, but his action doesn't tell me he's sincere about fighting Terrence Crawford next, because he haven't petitioned for the mandatory position as of yet. Or at least I'm not aware of it because I would have heard about it. So what is Sean Porter waiting on? And why haven't he forced the fight by petitioning for his mandatory position and forced the fight? Because let's make it clear. When it came to the, I think, Mean Machine, he was Terrence Crawford mandatory. People say, well, how come Terrence sent him an offer? Well, guess what? Bob did Bob Arum did send Sean Porter an offer. He said $1 million. Sean said that's disrespectful. So in a way, he telling Bob, nah, I ain't interested in that offer. However, Mean Machine, he felt like that offer was enough, so he accepted it. So if Sean if Sean Porter doesn't feel like the offer is fair, then why not take it to purse bid? Take a page out of what Teofimo just did with Triller, and you could end up making a whole lot of money. You know, upward of 2, 3 to 4 million fighting Terrence Crawford if you take it to purse bid after petitioning for your mandatory position. So what is Sean Porter waiting for?
Man, I have no idea. Because the thing is, Sean Porter's really confusing me. Because the thing is, he's calling out Terrence Crawford on Twitter. I see him on Fight Hype. I heard he went up to Top Rank to talk to Bob Arum personally. It sounds like he really wants to fight Crawford. And if you've seen how if you see Sean Porter's resume, this man has nothing but the top fighters at welterweight. But the thing is, he doesn't even need to do all this. He doesn't need to say, I'll be ready in May. He doesn't need to go to Bob Arum. All he needs to do is activate his mandatory position. And if Bob Arum doesn't budge, just go to first bid and see what you get from that. Because let's be honest here, there's way more people who are interested in seeing Crawford versus Porter than there are seeing Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos. And look how successful that went. So imagine what you can get if you're willing to gamble on yourself.
The zone will pick up the fight.
I don't even think it's that much of a gamble.
It ain't a gamble. It ain't a gamble because PBC could put up a purse bid. The zone could put up a purse bid, and I'm pretty sure they will because Eddie Hearn already is showing interest in Terrence Crawford. Eddie's already showing interest, and I don't even think he has any welterweights. But he's showing to and to land an event like that, it will bring a lot of subscribers to the zone. So they know that. To have a welterweight fight between Terrence, pound for pound #1, and Sean Porter, the guy who has the best resume in boxing, I mean, they will love this fight. Triller would love this fight. Everybody will love this fight. So I don't understand if Sean Porter really want the fight, actions speak louder than words at the end of the day, or at least the night. So him continuously telling the public that he wants to fight, however, he doesn't petition behind closed doors for his mandatory position, doesn't show that he won it. I don't know why, because like I said, Bob is not going to give him the offer that he wants. Let's make it clear. Bob is not going to give Sean the money he's looking for. So if anything, you should take it to purse bid. I'm pretty sure at this point, Crawford is waiting and he's looking at Sean like, what are you waiting for? Let's take this to purse bid. I can't take it to purse bid. You can. If you don't petition for your mandatory position and force the fight, then I can't take it to purse bid. We can't take it to purse bid until you do so. So I know that a lot of people trying to blame Terrence Crawford for this fight not taking place. But again, if people know the business, Sean could force this fight. And if he doesn't force this fight, then he can't claim or go around pretending that Terrence Crawford didn't want the fight, because he could have forced this fight. Terrence does not have to give him an opportunity. Sean could force this fight. Therefore, if the fight doesn't happen, just want to reconfirm, who would you blame, Joey?
I would blame Sean Porter. I've talked about this several times. I mean, how can you blame the dude? He's the champion. And Terrence Crawford always fights his mandatory. Has always fought his mandatory. He's not trying to give up his belt. Mind you, Sean Porter, all he's got to do is activate the mandatory. Ain't nothing difficult to it. All he's got to do is activate it. And if, like you said, Bob Arum doesn't change his offer, go to purse bid. It's that simple. Going on Twitter, talking to people, going on your podcast saying that you want to make the fight happen, that's cool and all. It makes me optimistic. But you giving that, doing that mandatory is like, okay, we're going to see this fight because Sean Porter really wants to do this. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see you. I don't need hope. I need a guarantee. And that activating that mandatory position is that guarantee.
Yes, sir. Well said. That's a guaranteed. And Crawford, only exception was Pacquiao. And since that's not the case, Sean is free and it's a free path for him to fight Crawford if he does petition. So we'll see what does develop when it comes to that. With that being said, I'll be in touch with you, Joey. I'll talk to you next show. I'm going to go ahead and try to pick up some more calls before my computer dies because it's about to die on me right now.
All right, man.
All right, great
Good
talking with you, man.
Aki.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.
Yes, sir. Great chopping it up with you, my man. I'm going to try to pick up as many calls. What's going on, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from?
What's up, Aki? My name is Coles. I'm calling from New Jersey.
What's going on? Hey, you heard? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You heard Jamal Charlo. He told David Benavidez, I'm going to knock you out. It's not going to go more than 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. No more. David Benavidez already responded to Charlo telling him to make it happen. He said, likewise, David Benavidez put on Instagram, let's make it happen. So September is the date that David Benavidez put a date on it. So what's your take on this fight coming to fruition and Charlo accepting the fight?
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. David Benavidez is a problem, man. I know you've seen the fight. Yo, here's my take, right? I think David Benavidez gives problems to Charlo, right? Because look, Charlo, he tried to make it like Ronald Ellis was a lackluster performance, but you got to look at it. Ronald Ellis, he beat Korboff, and Korboff was the one that gave Charlo problems until he got hurt. You agree?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's definitely a good fighter. He trains with Canelo Alvarez too. I don't know if you know this, but Ellis, I think he spars with Canelo. He spars with Canelo too. He's a good fighter, and you can see his skills in the fight. You know, stylistically, I see this fight favor Charlo more so, but David Benavidez' hand speed, his size, his will, his heart, and his jab is definitely a 50-50 fight. The fight can go either way. Charlo is moving up in weight.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Charlo jab, his counter punching ability, his IQ, he's one of the best in the world. I have him as one of my top pound for pound fighters. David Benavidez will shortly crack the list if he's able to pull off this win. Whoever wins is a top 5 pound for pound for sure. You know, this is the boogeyman at 168 versus the boogeyman at 160. Charlo didn't want to see either. Canelo didn't want to see either one of them. So they had to create their own path. And the only way to fight Canelo is for them to fight each other. I think this is the perfect fight. I think this is the fight that will make so much noise, even more noise than Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant, because those aren't 50-50 fights. This fight is 50-50 fight. This fight is thunders, is lightning. I mean, I'm telling you, I can't wait. This is the type of fight that will save the year. We having a dry year, and it's about to rain on us. It's gonna be raining, and Charlo and Benavidez are gonna be trading inside of that Lions Den come September. So who would you pick though? If you have to pick or choose, who would you pick to win the fight and why?
But you said Charlo and Benavidez?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I say it like this. I love Charlo, man. I like them boys because they tough. But like this boxing wise, I think David Benavidez's heart is more in it boxing wise. Because you know what I mean? You know, the Charlos, yeah, they flashy. They got the money. They do got impeccable boxing skills. But I've seen in a lot of fights, I see Charlo got a lot of holes in his game. Not a lot, but he had some holes in his game. You know what I mean? He had some. And it's like he get caught with shots. And I think with the guys that he got caught with, I think they didn't have the power to put him out. And, to beat him like, inclusively. But I think David Benavidez, that young lion in him, he has no fear. And I think he's just going to keep coming. And, like, his boxing IQ is getting better and better with each fight. So I wouldn't want to see my boy Jamal get beat. But I think if he does get beat, Benavidez will be the one to do it.
Yes, sir. Now we'll definitely see. This will be a great fight. Like I said, I think David Benavidez definitely have a shot against Charlo, but Charlo counter punching ability and his power, his speed, his IQ, his chin, and his defense will give David Benavidez problems as well. That's why this is a fight that the fans been wanting to see. They've been clamoring for, and hopefully it does deliver since both fighters are on Showtime. So I will keep you guys in tune when it comes to all the news when it comes to this fight. With that being said, my camera just died on me. I appreciate talking with you, my brother. I definitely holler at you next time, all right?
All right, keep doing your thing, man. You're a blessing, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. I appreciate the love and support, my brother. He said, why do people act like a win over Haney wouldn't be a legacy stable for their favorite fighter? ? The who has he fought argument doesn't hold up to that. I mean, at the end of the day, he's one of the fabulous four. He's one of the hottest prospects in the game. And prospects, he's one of the hottest champions, well paid as well at 22 years old. You can't say much for a lot of 22 years old. I don't know too many that's paid, or get paid $3 million a fight. So that being said, this is a legacy fight, a money fight, you name it. There's too much on the line against Devin Haney. He's Floyd Mayweather prodigy. He has the potential to be the next pound for pound. So, of course, whoever beat Devin Haney will not just win a title, become a champion. They will also make a lot of money, gain a lot of fans, gain a lot of legacy, make history, and supposedly dethrone the second coming of Floyd, the Kobe of boxing. That's why he's the boogeyman as we speak, because he has a reputation in Las Vegas of beating up everybody. And Bob Arum know that. Bob Arum know that because he Top Rank is located in Vegas, where Devin Haney kicks ass for a living. Nevertheless, I appreciate everybody for tuning in and to be continue on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, subscribe, and we out here.